You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Welcome to Tech for Tech Tech Talk. This is a live show where we discuss different ways to help your IT business grow. My name is Phil Griffiths, and I'm your host for today. Today's episode is Crosshaven Computers and Cormac. We are joined today by, believe it or not, Cormac, as well as Jenni. If you can hear us and see us and make sure everything's working, can you just comment in the chat so we know, obviously, you can see and hear everything. Let me just turn the chat window on. It looks like Marion says she loved the intro and top of the evening from Peter. So no doubt we're going to get plenty of Irish jokes and sayings going off tonight.
I have to say I love the intro as well. I haven't heard that much Irish music since I was working in bars in London, actually, 20 years ago. God, like Patrick's Day.
That's it. So let's have a look. So we've got a few more coming in. So kudos on the evening. Marianne saying all loud and clear. So that's all good. So let's have a quick look what we've got. Oh yeah, before we go any further, if you're in the Tech for Tech's Facebook group, I'm pasting a link in now. If you can click on that link if you want your name to be shown. Otherwise, you will be known as a Facebook user. And we've got some cheeky git from Scorpion Computer saying he can't understand that Irish bloke, which, surprise, surprise, I think we know who that is. Right, let me just get rid of that little watermark at the top. What's over the chat? There we go. Right, okay, let's start off with introductions then. Jen, if you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are and give us a advice, story, news. I think I know what it's going to be, but if you want to let everyone know.
Hi, I'm Jenni. I'm the owner of Tech for Techs, and this week I want to announce progress in our event Tech Max that we will be doing next year. I've been looking at venues this week, and I had 3 scheduled in, and one of which I want to give a shout out to for their poor customer service. Yes, that's right. Doubletree by Hilton in Sheffield, you won the Poor Customer Service Award as appointed by yours truly, Jenni Griffiths of Tech for Techs. Long story short, we could have had our event there. It ticked most of my boxes sight unseen. It had the capacity for us. It had an on-site restaurant. It looked really nice and clean. Everything was great except the customer service. She didn't even put me on the books to be seen after we agreed to a scheduled appointment. I went up to Sheffield, came into the hotel, started looking around, and she told me that she had booked the room for the day at the last minute. And I couldn't see it, but she could answer any questions I might have, expecting me to book a room sight unseen. There could be no carpet on the floor for all I know. I mean, you just don't know. So I wasn't going to do that. And I said, you've got to be kidding me. You know, an email or a phone call wouldn't have gone amiss. So we won't be having our event there. Not this time, not ever. I wouldn't even recommend renting a room there. So you got the Poor Customer Service Award. But on the upside, we went over to the Sheffield United Football Club, their stadium. And it was the first time I'd ever been in an English football stadium. And I've got to say, I was impressed. It ticks all the boxes as far as I'm concerned. We will have plenty of room should we hold it there. The people, the lady that showed us around was named Lucy, And she was ever so accommodating. Everything that we threw at her, asking her, she knew it without even having to look it up in a book or anything. There was no, I'll get back to you, except for on the logistics of how many people that we have to say are coming, of course, round in numbers. And then she'll work out prices and things like that. You can't do that without knowing how many's coming. But anything else that I asked her, like how many people can fit in here? How many people can fit upstairs? Can we do this? Can we do that? She knew it without even having to blink an eye. And I was very impressed. We've got one more venue to look at before we decide where Tech Max will be held. But they've got to pull a big feather out of their cap to beat the Sheffield United football club, because it was a really, really nice looking place.
Yeah, it was, to be honest with you. I was impressed. I'm unfortunately a fan of the team at the other side of the city, Sheffield Wednesday, and to be honest with you, their stadium was just too small, or should I say the events area was too small for what we wanted and didn't hold all these things. So Sheffield United, even though they are the rivals the other side of the city, I must say they do get 5 stars for what they're offering, to be honest with you. Right, let's introduce the man of the hour, or the man of the day, or the man of the show, depending on what he is. So we've got Cormac. If you would like to introduce yourself, Cormac, let everyone know who you are and your tip of the day.
Well, I'm Cormac from Crosshaven Computers. Best tech in Ireland. There's no one to argue with me on that one at the moment. I'm more interested there about Sheffield, where that sounds good about Tex Max. It's in a stadium, that's good. Also, it's fascinating. I don't know where Sheffield is exactly. Don't know where Chesterfield is, but I'm getting the geography somewhere in my head anyway. We're off to Edinburgh Farm Country, and we'll do grand. My tech tip of the week, really actually is to look at what you're selling and see if there's better options. I've kind of mentioned this a few weeks ago. We changed our antivirus who we're selling. We're selling Emisoft. Actually, he's in the group. David, I think is his name. And actually, I'm selling it through Synchro. I'm very, very happy with it. Now, I'm not going to give you the money. You can figure that out yourselves. But instead, we'll say some people making 25% reselling. It's going to be a case of probably making 75%. Not on the initial sell, but on the renewal. Because with Synchro, and I got a great help from, and I butcher people's name, William Moore, MUIR, in the group as well. We were chatting on the phone. He gave me some advice. Actually, this is what I find so good about the group. But basically, you can install this through Synchro, but you can leave it in with, say, residential customer's computer and ring them up after a year and say, do you want to renew? Obviously, I say most people will say yeah. And for the people who say no, you just uninstall the agent remotely from the computer. Now, we have it covered under GDPR. We're not going in doing anything, and we're not meant to do, But I'd imagine, because I've been missing out on a lot of resale of antiviruses. I tried Bullguard, wasn't happy at all with Bullguard. So but look, loads of people have some great things to say about Bullguard, so it's not me having to go at that company. Loads of people that have highly sought after. But for me, this was a better option, and so that's it. And once again, this is where the group came to help, So so thanks to William there again, and that's about it, really.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Have you got a tip for the day?
That was my tip to sell. Look at your antivirus.
That's probably it.
I could go on. I was trying to. No, we leave it that one because I'll have to start stretching my mind for other tips. But that was my tip, to look at what you're selling at, basically. And I mean that because that was me sitting down with Olivia, who does the books, and then we were kind of going, look, we need to get more profit out of certain things, So it's just learning about scaling business and actually sitting down and kind of going, right, we are like, it's actually, I'll leave in this. It was actually a customer of mine who told me this. He was like, maybe instead of not looking at growing your customer base more because you're very busy, what about making more money off the customers you have? And yeah, that's my tip. Yeah, that's it.
There you go. It would help if I was concentrating 100% on exactly what you were saying, because I'm getting about 5 messages coming through all at the same time, trying to read them and reply to them. So just to reply to those messages before I go on to my tip of the day is, yes, Cormac is definitely Irish, and no, we don't have a translator. Secondly... So, yes, I know. Secondly, was when's the event going to be? We're still picking the venue, so we can't give you an exact date because obviously different venues have different dates available. It will be on a Friday, or 99% sure it'll be on a Friday, and it's going to be either April, May, or June, more than likely next year, obviously. So not this year because, well, they've pretty much gone now. But so let's have a look. What other? Oh, regarding, as soon as you said Bullguard, I had 2 messages from people regarding Bullguard, believe it or not. Apparently Bullguard's been struggling paying revenue share to its members, struggling, don't know if it's how it's been having issues, if it's anything to do with the Norton takeover, if someone fell asleep and didn't submit the accounts. I don't know exactly what's happened. I've asked for a comment from Bullguard twice this week. Unfortunately, they have not replied to me. I'm also one of the people also missing payments from them. And obviously, every little helps, should we say. But it doesn't help when you don't get it. So, guys at Bullguard, okay, you've been taken over by Norton. You have said that there will be no issues going forward. Everything will carry on as normal. Well, obviously, it's not. You need to sort out your revenue terms and so forth.
When Bullguard was Bullguard, there were no issues getting through to the people that handled your account. They always answered promptly. And if you had to go higher up, it was get it sorted, get it done now, ASAP. Yeah. And now they're Norton, and it's...
Who knows? Same people in charge of the Bullguard side, apparently, but again, no replies doesn't help. So, unfortunately, I can't tell you anything other than what they've already said. Right, let's just go back to the chat. So, you've got Frism X saying hi. What exactly is the event? And you've also got Raheem saying what's on the agenda for the event as well. And yeah. So basics is the event is going to be distributors, vendors. They'll have stalls around the room is probably the best, or tables, or marketing areas. They'll obviously we've got to set up terms with everyone. A lot of it we can't decide until we get the venue and figure out. There'll be 1 or 2 things. We're planning on having a live show like this at the event, so we might get Cormac on stage. It'll be a day event, so it'll be from, again, we don't know exact times yet, but probably about 10 in the morning or something along that lines till about 6 o'clock, and then we'll probably have some sort of smaller evening do. Probably won't be anything fancy. It'll probably just be like drinks and pizza or something like that. More of a networking type thing later on rather than loads of singing and dancing. But again, nothing's 100% decided yet, but until we get the venue and know exactly when it's going to be. Do you want to add anything on that one, Jen?
Yeah, Raheem, most of it will be, if you've ever been to a networking event or an open day, it will be a lot like that with, as Phil said, vendors and distributors at different tables lined up to greet you and everything, and we are requesting them to bring POS. We also would like for them to bring a prize to be given away at the end of the day, where we can either reach in a goldfish bowl and pull out a business card and give you something really nice, and so forth and so on. Lots of nice giveaways. I would like to do that. Now, whether or not it actually takes place, well, then that's another thing, but that's what I aim to do. We will be sort of our own entertainment. I don't really think that entertainments at this kind of thing go down very well. After a few drinks, we entertain each other just watching each other stand. I mean, and like Phil said, as for food and stuff, I opted finger buffet where we don't have to really worry too much. We can cater for all types, whether it be what I call regular eaters or kosher or halal friendly or vegan or vegetarian, and the list goes on and on and on. I just want everybody that comes there to enjoy themselves. So,
well,
Yeah.
I tell you what now, and first of all, we're going to call out Raheem because you're meant to be on this show. You were meant to be on this show, so we're waiting for you to come on. For what I'm looking for out of this show, the event is it's going to be a great opportunity to meet people and seriously set up international business deals. We come on international. No, but seriously, it'd be a good way to to buy and sell and get get trade routes going. And I'm already dealing with people in England, so it's it's going to be good. Also, it's going to be a nerd fest. I'm looking forward to just nerding out.
It will be
I don't know
definitely
anything about that sort of stadium. Just nerd. When nerds unite, that's what it's going to be about. All right.
That is coincidentally, that's what I told Lucy that we were going to do. I said, basically, this is a geek convention, Lucy. Yeah. It's no frills. It's down to earth geeks.
Yeah, we
don't want to go too fancy. Not everyone's into fancy food, so we understand that, and we're pretty much the same. So, but Peter's just mentioned 4 p.m. UK time next Thursday, Windows 11 announcement event. Yes. Hope it doesn't clash with the Tech for Techs. Well, no doubt we'll have a show next week and we'll possibly end up discussing this a bit more. But funnily enough, you mentioned Windows 10 because just over here, if I get it on full screen, we coincidentally have Windows 11. Sorry. I mentioned Windows 11. Get it the right way around. Well, in all honesty, Windows 11 is installed. I've got it on a virtual machine at the moment, so it's all up and running. This is Windows 11, or at least it's the leaked version, which could be months old. It might not be the final thing. But in all honesty, if you look at it, it don't look that much difference. They've basically moved the start button from the left to the center, so everything's center aligned. But you can move it back to the left if you wish. Now, the start menu itself looks a little bit different. They've got rid of all those apps, is probably the best way of putting it, on the right-hand side. So you've got your pinned items there, all apps, which is basically a list of all your programs. You've also got recommended. You can see, obviously, some documents I've got on there. It's picking up off my main machine and so forth. And that's pretty much what's changed a lot, to be honest with you, is the start menu. There are one or two things, but it's more of a... They've... repainted it is probably the best way of putting it. They've just updated the UI. The search button on mine, I've tried it a few times, doesn't seem to work properly. Every time you press it, it just disappears. The next button over is task view. You've got widgets, which is in basics is the new weather news notification things, what's on the bottom right-hand corner of Windows 10 if you've got the latest update. It basically looks like that. There's nothing too fancy in it, to be honest with you. It just looks like the one built in Windows 10. Obviously, Edge, the thing we use to install Google Chrome with. You've got File Explorer as well. The icons in there have changed a little bit, but in reality look very similar. So again, there's a lot more stuff probably going to be coming out when it does come out live and so forth. But in all reality, from the leaked version at least, the only difference is really the start button. Oh yeah, and it plays a little tune when you switch it on and off. It
to me looks like the Windows 95 version of Windows 10.
That's it. So, well, I'm using it on a virtual box is probably the best way of putting it. I'm just using the Oracle one. But there you go. But it works just like any other version of Windows. So you go on your File Explorer, everything looks fine. This PC and so forth. And you can see the drive. Obviously, I've set it as 100 gig, but it looks pretty much the same. Everything else looks the same. Everything, Task Manager's the same. Everything seems to work the same. The only feature I have issues with is the the search button. You can right-click the start button, gives you pretty much the same options you get on Windows 10. You've got your restart, you've got run, you can do like WinVer and MS config and all that from there. But as you can see, you've got the OS build number there as well, which is 21996.1. But again, they've probably done a lot more updates, and a lot of it's not going to be done. There's the actual display driver is obviously not working because of the way it's set up at the moment. So it is a little bit chunky, and that's probably why the search button doesn't work. It'd probably be a bit more transparent and rounded and a little smoother running. But it gives you a rough idea anyway. So let me just turn that back off. There we go. Right. So again, guys, if you've got any questions for the King of Ireland, the King of Potatoes, the Lucky, I don't know, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
So feel free to send them through because we're going to be talking to Cormac basically about Crosshaven Computers, about himself, why he does what he does, and so forth. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat below or on the side, depending on how you're viewing it. So, right, so let me start off with the first question for you. Oh, actually, we've got to pay the bills first, so I've got to run something else first. So, to pay the bills, we have to show this.
From high-speed networking to enterprise storage, at Ortial, we have a solution for you. We're a UK-based vendor specialising in computer hardware components. So whether you're powering a data centre or upgrading a laptop, we can help. At Ortial, you'll get a dedicated account manager that gets to know you and your business, supporting you from our head office in Yorkshire. All our products are OEM compatible, tested in-house to ensure performance. And what's more, we offer a 5-year warranty across all our SSD range and lifetime on our memory. Want to find out more about our partner programme? Visit ortial.com.
There you go. So hopefully they're going to pay the bills. Right. Okay. So let's go on to the questions for Cormac. Right. So actually, the first question I'm going to ask you is why you could call me on some things and Cormac on others. I'm guessing it's just a nickname, but
Cormac. Actually, that's a funny question because Cormac. I've been getting invoices off people in England called Cormac. To Cormac, and that's a joke name. That's I only put that name up a few years back. My name is Cormac Donoghue. That's my business, Cormac, and I just made up a name, because I was like, do you know something? There was a couple of reasons. One of the reasons was that I didn't want kind of customers to be able to check who you are, and a bit of privacy, which has gone out the window on Facebook, by the way. So then I just kind of made up the silliest sounding name that I could, and it's weird even me knowing about the chickens on if anyone's friends with me on my private profile, it's kind of, I prefer to be known on Facebook as Cormac, bit of fun than one of those Facebook warriors who's complaining about everything, who's complaining about the potholes down the road not being, I don't know, you know these people on Facebook, you literally know those people. So like, to be known as Cormac, now, that came with its own things because I didn't feel he got us printing some magazine before. There was some quotes from people who were trying to start MSPs, and it said Cormac, and I was like, oh my God, that sounds like, but then to foreign people, it probably sounds like a real name. In Ireland, it's a thing. So yeah, Cormac. Also, I'm wanted by the police in many countries, and it's an alias. But who will ever know that, Yeah.
I thought it was actually your real name when I first saw it. I didn't question it, but I've always wondered about the chicken thing, how that got started, and I can't wait to hear about that.
You would need
well, if you want to ask that question now, Jen, and ask him now, get it out of the way.
I've got to know. I'm sitting on my hands and everything. I've got to know how the chicken thing got started.
Oh my God, that's a killer question, really. It is Jesus question. I can imagine. There's a few things with that one. My sister is an artist. She was painting chickens. When I was trying to seduce my girlfriend that I'd gone out with a year or two ago, there was chickens. I was looking after a place down just before I was going over. I was looking after a place down the country, and I asked her to come down to the chicken. Sounds a bit corny, but it's an Irish chat up like. There's many reasons. The chickens again is more of a Facebook thing, as in again it's and who doesn't like chickens? Chickens. I have pictures of chickens. I have a chicken problem. That's what it is. What's the guy in The Simpsons? Troy McClane. The guy who had issues with sleeping with fish. That's after got a bit weird. See, I love chickens in nice manners, though. Wasn't expecting that question to begin with, folks.
Yeah,
I had to ask it on behalf of Richard Creedy as well, because it came up in our feed and he just reminded me to ask about that. But I've always wondered about how you became the clucking good chicken guy.
It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's, again, as I said, it's things that kind of be well known around the area for as well, but it's kind of, and people be always sending me memes again. And again, I'll be honest with you, again, I would prefer to be known as that sort of person than the people who are complaining. My chicken tin is an anti-Facebook complaining stance. That's what the chicken is. Yeah,
I like it. I like it because you get a lot of miserable people on Facebook. I mean, like you said, the pothole complaints and the council and all of this, and
you won't be getting that in my feed. You won't. It's not that. It's because you won't get that. No. So that's it. Yeah. Someone asked me which team am I supporting in Euro 2020. Only discovered it was on last week. We got an ad running with Crosshaven Computers on the Scottish shirts. And I lived in England for years, and I'd be grand if England win. It's no problem. I just wanted to wind up people really. So I decided to get some photoshopping done, and we now support the Scottish team. I had to check who was really playing in this championships. Sheffield United, is that where we're going? I support them. Okay.
Yeah. We'll fall out if you say that. Right. Okay. Right. Let's go on to the next question. Have you always been interested in computers?
Actually, no. I got into computers very, very, very late in life. Even though my first computer was a VIC-20, I was in London working for years. I was in bars and stuff over there, and it was back in the late 90s. So just partying mostly. But then I came back and I worked for a company as a kind of general operator, kind of in a chemical place. The money was very good, and I was working. I worked there for 14 years, but it was nothing to do with tech, nothing tech related. But I was doing night work, and I disliked the job a lot. Now it was as I said, the money was good. The other situation was you could take a month holiday, so I used to just go around South America, pick a country and go for 6 or 7 years, go traveling on my own. It was grand, but very unhappy in the job. And then in 2012, the opportunity came to take redundancy. Now, I wasn't married, I don't have kids. It was like coming up close to 40. I was like, I love tech. And I'll answer this question actually for a minute more, if you don't mind. I have actually, back in 2008 when the crash happened, I used to do a lot of walking on the roads and jogging and stuff like that. And it was just misery when you were hearing the radio. And when I was in work, I used to listen to radio a lot, headsets, just listen to it because it was a boring job. So I was mad into tech, and I started listening to Podnuts. Phil was on Podnuts as well, an interview. Back, I don't know how long you've been listening to it. That was back when Steve was doing it. That was back 2008. And I started listening to Leah Laporte on the Twit Network. Now, Podnuts was a show a bit like this. They would talk to techs all around the world, but it was a small show. And they would just go and interview people working from home or shops. And I'd be there and I'd be hearing the tool tips and this and that. So I started getting fascinated, and I had a computer and I started playing around with it. And then I used to love if you got a virus or you love something like that, and then I'd be on beeping computer and I'd be reading all those forums. And in 2012, I took redundancy. Might be the best idea because I bought a house in 2008. So financial pressures were huge. And for 2 or 3 years then, I studied. I done the Comp A, 6-month course, which was diabolical because there's no computers whatsoever. And I just learned how to pass that exam. And then I done another 2-year course with a class, but I had to earn money at the time as well. So I started bringing advertising. I could fix computers, but bringing them into the course to fix them, you know. So always had to try to make money. And then around 3 years ago, I went full time. And now there's myself and I have Olivia and Neve and Tim working part time, and Steve is a tech. He helps out. He helps out at times as well. He just left there for a while, but it's going well, you know.
Okay, that's pretty good. I think that answers Alison's question as well. As what did you do before you started Crosshaven Computers? Yep. So let's have a look.
That's also answered my next question. So I'm going to go on to the next question after that.
Go ahead.
Where did you get your clients when you first started?
Now this is a good question. Because when I was in that course, there was, we'll say, 20 other people learning at the same time as well, okay? And to become, and that's a great question, because there's a difference between a tech and a business owner, and you have to learn, well, I don't know what the cliche is, wear many different caps. But the problem being is that not a lot of people understand that, so you kind of either be great at tech or something like that. But I remember saying to the lads and the ladies inside that class, I would be going away and I would go away and I'd be taking a week off the tech course to do a social media course or a business management course or something. And I remember turning around to them and they asked me where I was going one day. And I said, I'm going off to do a social media course. And they were like, why? And I said, you could be the best tech in the world, I said. And I said, some of you might be great, but but the point being, if you don't have customers, there's no point. There's literally no point. So where did I get most of my customers? I got most of my customers from Facebook, completely from Facebook. And I am actually going to have to put in a mic here for a sec, if you don't mind. There's cars outside beeping and I can't hear myself think for 1 second.
No problem.
Not that, as you can see. Okay, can you hear me again now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I think the local sports team won something or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that was it. So Facebook actually is where I got most of my customers. And as you've seen, people who follow me, I do Facebook differently than most people. And I had, big discussions with people about that. They were saying, oh, you can't get business customers from Facebook. You can't do that. Well, you get business customers from Facebook because everyone is like, if people are working in offices, they still have home computers. You do a good job on their home computer, they'll walk into the office and say, there's a problem with the computer. Hey, I just went to this guy. He's really honest. They're efficient, this and that. And also, most of my ads will have absolutely nothing to do with computers because, as I said many a times, there's no point advertising SSD upgrades. People don't know what they're talking about. So I just went for brand recognition. And in the beginning, my Facebook ads were a lot more crazy, and I always featured me because I wanted to get known as the face around the village, Also, probably my ego comes out in my ads as well a bit, let's be honest there. But if in Crosshaven Computers, if it was just thrown ads out there so people would see the brand and get to know the brand. So it's the same really as having a branded vehicle driving around the place. But with Facebook, it was different. And then we done Instagram, and then we done TikTok. Myself and Marion had a good conversation about TikTok on the last day about how you should book her to sing the show at the show. But those sort of things that's how we got most of the customers. Oh, and we're also extremely good. But
of course you are.
Well, I actually think I have this about business is that you really only have to be 10% or 5 to 10% better than the other people, yeah? Because you know yourself, service is terrible out there. If you be just 10% better, do the extra touch, and do it well, and be very honest. Honesty is key to it. Customers will come then, you know. So yeah, that's hope that covers that question.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers that one. That's for sure.
To end the Quinn, the clovers, it's for Cormac, who's Irish, and they're renowned for 4-leaf clovers. That's why the clovers.
Yeah, it's a
the Irish there as well. Yeah.
So you'll hear plenty of comments about potatoes and lots of different things. Let's put it that way. So, and chickens as well, because there's a big chicken fan. So just going on about Cormac's advertising. All right, sharing your Facebook page, Cormac, not your personal one, but your business one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if people have a rough idea.
That concerned look that you just had was priceless.
Let me share that window. Let's find it. Here we go. Share.
Do you know, Phil and Jen? I done a TikTok ad there. I imported TikTok, and basically it's me running around in a dress filter, lads and lassies. It's not as bad as it sounds, all right? But like that, if you watch that, it has nothing. Actually, you could kind of say, what, you wouldn't hire that person to walk into your business. That ad got very well traction, and I'm just after getting it. It looks like I'm getting a deal for 30 computers through that ad. So I will argue the case that completely. You can't do that for you can't use TikTok for business. Seems to be doing all right. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's Bernie Sanders and that thing. Yeah. It was that. There's a story behind that one now. All right.
Epic.
That was a massive meme there last week in Ireland. He became the most popular thing on Twitter, Matt, whatever he is from Friends. So we had to, and obviously the Bernie meme, I look good in that.
I don't know. You've got quite a few things on there, and one thing what Cormac does pretty well is put wacky things on like that.
Yeah, that got me 30 computers. All right, I prostituted myself for that.
Oh God!
But, as you can probably see, he gets a lot of likes.
A friend of mine gave me that idea. Yeah. No.
Sorry, what was that, Cormac? Sorry?
A friend of mine gave me that idea, actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So.
We have a question, Phil.
Yeah.
Marianne wants to know, what do you enjoy the most about working in IT, and what do you hate having to do?
That's a very good question. Do you know, after working in a company for 14 years and having bosses and everything, I love being my own boss. I adore it. Now, I saw Alison actually say before on a Monday morning, Alison Cook here said it's time to hustle. That thing about you have to go out and you have to, we'd say, nearly hunt your food if you're in that mindset, as in, every week you have to go, right, I have to go out and earn money. I have to do this, I have to do that, That's what I love. Now, at times, you can go the pressure and this and that. But that is what I love. And I'm doing it less and less now as you're kind of getting bigger. I don't get to end up doing as much home computers. Tim, me doing that, and Tim is very gifted. And other ones, sometimes as you grow, you're kind of getting more away from the tech side. But obviously, I love learning and listening to tech. I listen to 30 hours of tech podcasts a week. I love dealing. I tell you what, I love going into businesses, and the manager or the owner's door is always open for you, in the sense that everyone will talk. They want to talk to your day tech. I love advising people. I love the consulting. What don't I like? I don't know. There's, in a sense, I sat down one time and I was like, I was kind of, sometimes that's the thing, you have to keep yourself in good form when you're working for yourself as well. And one time I was a bit deflated, and I sat down and I was kind of like made a list. Someone told me to make a list one time, trying to get over a breakup, write down the good and bad things about it, and then I wrote down a list about business that way. And the good things really outweigh the bad things. But I don't know, most customers I can handle with grand. The customers at times, no, I don't know. So there's nothing I don't really dislike. If I compare it to other jobs, there's not many things I dislike. You know, what about what do you dislike about this industry?
Okay, it's a pretty good answer to that question there. Let's have a look. Well, the next question I got was, how do you advertise and what do you think works best? I think you've already answered that one.
Yeah.
And why are your adverts sometimes a little wacky?
Well, why are they wacky? Because I didn't have a penny. I literally did not. I as I said, I had no money starting this business. None. Because I bought a house in 2008, big mortgage. I had to get customers to pay the mortgage, okay? And the way Facebook works is that if you do a good video ad, you will get more views. And I was only throwing 10 quid at the ads. I had to get the views. So I had to do things that were catchy things that we were repairing iPhones at one stage, and I got a friend of mine. We went out and filmed an ad of smashing up an iPhone with a hurley, and it's like a baseball and hitting it into a goal. You know, but the thing about it, that like I put that up on a Sunday evening, and by that night, we were after getting 5,000-10,000 views. We're in a village, you know, that people shared it galore. Next day, I'm walking into a supermarket. I said some silly catchphrase about not repairing iPhones or Hurleys or something. People were saying that to me in a shopping centre walking around. This is the sort of thing that you want. I like being stopped in. All I do is do tech, lads. I like being stopped in the village for my ads. Like at some stage, I'm wondering, am I actually advertising this business, or am I just trying to design good ads to get? But it works, you know. So that's why the ads are a little bit crazy, because they get the best results, you know. Yeah. As I said, put up the board.
I can relate to that, being stopped, and you know, in the village or wherever you are, they know who I am. I have no idea who they are, but I have to wing it sometimes and say, "Oh yeah, I remember you," because it's kind of like the major insult not to remember someone, you know, and you have to. Oh yeah. How's your family doing? Because you haven't got a clue.
Yeah,
you know, we get stopped in Tesco and all sorts. So
yeah, we all love our egos.
That's it. Right, Jen, if you want to ask your next question.
Okay. Let me get the screen so I can actually see things. What is the biggest mistake and biggest success that you've had?
Oh, right. The biggest mistake, I mean, really lucky on, because I didn't have a penny. So you can make big financial mistakes if you don't have money. A mistake I would have made is I would have opened a shop. Now that financially might have been very good, and it probably earning more money than I'm making now. But I just didn't, the way my business is going, the way I want to go out and do businesses and all that, I didn't have the money. No bank would touch me. Jesus, no one would go near me. I didn't. Now, don't get me wrong. I was thinking the last day I might get a shop when I have people to work in there and I can still go out there. So that would have been the biggest mistake. It would have been, and which I was lucky I couldn't make. The other mistakes, one thing I have always said to whoever worked there or anything, is that our biggest mistake we can actually make is to lose data, okay? So we back up. So far, we haven't lost data. And even when I had people who have worked here, I said, look, we can, like I said, if we smash the screen, if we do this and that, and it's not me, I can't, I'm used to taking apart computers. So if someone's working and they say, oh, I broke the computer, whatever, grand, not a problem. We'll throw money at the problem to fix that problem. You know, that's going to happen. So mistake-wise, nothing yet. I thought we started selling refurbished computers. I thought I was going to go bigger, and it is. It's a quarter of our income now. I thought I might be able to launch that nationwide. I don't think I handled it and done it the right way. I'm still looking at it, and just because my initial idea didn't take off, I was too busy actually to concentrate on it. I'll go back and look at it. The biggest success, is that what someone said?
Yeah.
The biggest success, I'll tell you what the biggest success is, the business, as in literally not having a penny to build a business, nothing. I didn't even have a car because I didn't have the money for a car. I had to get 4 buses a day to come back. I used to go up, if someone gave 100 quid to buy more stuff off Amazon, I'd go up and put it into the bank, sit outside, wait for it to hit your account, you know, so you could buy again. If we were repairing Macs, you needed a Mac in there, Neri, to back up someone's Mac, to back up another person's Mac. So it was always bootstrapping, you know. Today we have a beautiful, like, it's not a home office, it's an office and a home, you know. And it's a 3-bedroom house. I just converted the 2nd bedroom now. I can't have guests anymore. Yes. People staying too long, and it's a full office. So I tell you something, I stopped and smelled the roses today when I had coffee, looked how clean it is. Little things. I left my laptop and I just had to grab, and to actually be able to pick up, you know, with loads of laptops around. I started a business with a laptop that I got from a dump, and I know that sounds, and I'll finish on this one. We always made ourselves, or I always made myself bigger than what I was, you know. And that's like, my email is Cormac at Crosshaven Computers. I wasn't getting money off people, so I had accounts at Crosshaven Computers, and I made up someone's name, and I would send an email from accounts. And Steve was working for me one day. We were having a cup of coffee in a coffee shop, and he goes to me, I said, Steve, getting money should be way easier now that we got Olivia, who will be sending out emails and taking care of this for us, you know. And Steve leant in to me and he goes, Cormac, he said, is there an Olivia? And I looked at him and I said, actually, there is this time. There is actually someone called Olivia. So if I'm ever going to write a book, the book title is there an Olivia? And there is this time around, because there wasn't for years, you know. So bluffing is the biggest success.
I think that's a good way to put it, to be honest. And I think that's sort of because you've had to come from nothing, you've had to do things unique ways, as in put yourself out there, use yourself as the face of the business. You haven't had the money to chuck at your business, but you've still managed to make it grow. We was very similar when I first started our business. It was basically just being unemployed. I was living with parents at the time, sort of thing. So it was like, right, start off in the bedroom and go from there. But you come up with unique ways to advertise yourself and put yourself out there. And you've definitely done that on your social media side of things, that's for sure.
Well, I said
Bill did it before social media was actually a thing. And how I remember coming to see him, and he had car magnets for his car that said Chips Computers. I remember thinking, oh, how cute.
There is something that I see myself and Phil are similar in, is that, you know, because we message each other out of hours and stuff, like, I can know that with Phil, that your brain is thinking about this the whole time. And that's not a bad thing, you know, as in, obviously we learn to switch off, but I like thinking about work. And like loads of the people, actually all the people I'd say watching this podcast, they're all entrepreneurs. And it took me a long while to be able to use that word, as in, sounds like, you know, an entrepreneur should be a millionaire. But you'd be roaming over your ideas, and to even see the platform Tech for Techs grow to Sheffield United football stadium size for some. Is it United on Wednesday? Anyway, they're all the same. But that is a skill level. That is, and you know that it's that sort of thing to build a business. You have to. It's not that you have to work crazy hours, which you do to begin with. But I actually enjoy it. I was at the cinema last night and I came out with 2 ideas for ads. It's not like I didn't enjoy the cinema. I still enjoy that, but it's still taking over, you know. So yeah, that's it. So you know what? I like hearing the stories about the magnets of the car when you go dating Jen. You know, yeah, this little impressor now. I put magnets on the car, but you know what? You have to do those things. You have to have you have to, and that's exactly why you're sitting down interviewing me with your Shamrocks and Clovers. It's a great world we live in.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. If it's in your bedroom, whether it's doing the car boot sales, trade shows, which were common. I'm going to say we've done all those things when we first started, and luckily things took off. It takes a while. You don't make your millions overnight, and you put the effort in and you get there. But yeah, you're right about switching off. Is you switch off, but you don't. It's like I can be watching TV and thinking, "Oh, that's an interesting angle. How they filmed that in. I'll try that on the next video I do." It's something weird like that, and you just doesn't matter how much you try. There's just something happen, and you're driving down the road, or you're going on holiday, and you drive past the computer shop, and you're going, "Oh, that looks pretty all right." Oh, that looks.
And
like
then your missus knocks you upside the head, and you wind up in the ditch.
Yes, but you know what? You might wind up with an idea, and that's what's so good about the group as well, because we're after going through a fairly, like, this has been a good time for the tech industry. This but it has, and to watch other people grow in the group there, you know, it is. But yeah, it definitely does needs a mindset to be a business owner like this. You know, I even love to be able to say that. It's just lovely in itself. You know. Yeah. So that's it. No. Yeah. Anyway, carry on. I might as well let you ask a couple of questions. To be honest.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go out of line on the questions, because I can't ask my next question until you ask a prior question. So I want to ask, what are your must-have tools?
That's a very good question. Malwarebytes Tech Bench every single computer, and this is actually where people will probably work up and kind of go, I might actually listen to the Irish guy now, because he's just been rambling up to there. Malwarebytes Tech Bench, just a given on every single computer, given right across the board. Don't know how anyone can get by without it. Can never understand it. I tried that UVK thing, just not even in the ballpark for me. Now, as I said, every single one of us should be building a statue to Fabrice of Fabs. I mean,
absolutely,
a legend among legends. You email him about anything, he'll answer that. You know, unbelievable. Synchro, very impressed with Synchro. I use Synchro. Synchro for the money. I think it's well worth it. I think it's gone up a bit. It's 120 quid. But the antivirus is integrated. Thereafter, their remote was very bad. They got splash top, and it just ridiculously good tool for the price. That's that. They're the major ones. Are the ones that we use all the time. Oh yes, I will at the moment. And for backup, we're gone with someone in the group. We're gone to Cloud Dolphin. So we'll see how that goes. But again, I really liked their sales pitch, as in they spoke to Kieran, and he got onto us last year, and I wasn't ready for it there, and came back, but there wasn't 50 phone calls, nothing. So far we tried it there. We're going to be putting it on all machines. It's good price for that. Those, besides the standard one then for testing hard drives. Well, no, we do that with Malwarebytes Tech Bench. But yeah, that's
I use that too.
Yeah, that's the, and G Suite. We use G Suite a lot. And you'll be seeing a lot more questions about the Office Admin Center and all that. I have to learn that. I see him there, Hitman Pro. This is weird. Nowadays, I'm quite happy just to use Tech Bench.
Yeah, I am too. Now, there was a time that I used Hitman Pro.
Yeah, I used
but
it
it's
too.
been long gone, replaced with the Tech Bench. Tech Bench has everything under one roof, you know.
Yeah.
And you can add to it the tools that you like. So And
I
back
know
to
it is.
Fabrice and Fabs, for the longest, I never knew that it stood for Fabrice, you know. I always thought it stood for fabulous. And that's
Well,
what I call him is Fabulous Fabrice because he has such a fabulous product when it comes to backing up and everything. You don't get any easier than that.
I forgot two tools actually, and that is podcasts. I listen to my tech show. I like that. But we have all forgotten about one tool that we use more than most. Really, is Tech for Tech Facebook group. That's we all use that to get you out of a jam. You know, things have changed as well. If there's things badly infected, it's just do a clean install on Fabs off, clean install, back on. Because there's no point taking the chances, you know. So yeah, they're the major tools, and coffee, loads of coffee, obviously. In fact,
And depending on who you're listening to in our group, they'll tell you, oh, just bite the bullet and install Linux Mint. And you know who I'm talking about, Matthew.
I love Linux. I love Linux, but there's no problem. I be away with it, you know. Yeah. So, but there is. I think we have to agree. You do have to listen to an awful lot of technology to understand to be able to understand the changes. And actually, to be honest, it took me a while to actually turn around to customers. And when you go into business customers, I won't support business customers. We'll say if they have QuickBooks in there, okay, or something like that. I can't learn every single one of those. I just can't, okay?
No.
QuickBooks, Big Red Book. So I'll go in and say, yeah, we'll support you if you're using a paid version of QuickBooks, so I can ring support if I need it. They say, oh no, we're using a dodgy copy and all that. I ain't doing it. I'm not no QuickBooks, please. I'm not no Microsoft, please. I just need to be able to ring up people and say, right, is there a known issue with this? Why does it keep crashing? And that's it. So as soon as I accepted that, I can know every bit of software. I'm totally happy walking into an office and tell them, nah, I never used it before, but I know how to use it by tomorrow. I also use the paid software, you know?
So, yeah, there's nothing worse than customers like that. I've had a few over the years, and you go around, it's like, oh, we're having issues with I don't know, QuickBooks or whatever it is, and you go around and Sage is usually the main one we have issues with. You go around and it's like, oh yeah, let us call support, and it's like, have you got the details? Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, but we haven't paid them since so year, and I'm thinking, right, okay, well, if you want me to fix this issue, you're going to have to renew. It's as simple as that. You ain't got a proper copy or version or whatever it may be. So yeah, I quickly learned that to make sure people, if you are supporting them on like a maintenance contract, especially, is if you want us to support this product or at least get it up and running for you, you need to have genuine versions or subscriptions with these places, which is not always easy to know when you were first on board a new company or whatever, because you're not going to go for the draw and check to see if every single thing's legitimate, which obviously we do that now. So, but it was one of the last things we thought that we needed to check.
But you know what? Be a good idea, Phil, for the forum. If you do a forum or whatever at some stage, it's a link for training videos. Like as I'm trying to learn a lot about managing Outlook admin and setting up the admin user platform. As I said, I'm very familiar with G Suite. I'm not. So, but it'd be nice even if I could say, right, this video is good. I think I'll put that for the next person who wants to come along, a link to that YouTube video. Or I would like to know how people are learning other ones, because it is, you know, there's to upskill yourself all the time is difficult when you're busy, you know. To find the time to sit down and kind of go, right, to grow the business more, I need to take a step back. That's what I'm kind of doing this month, is trying to get us all to learn more skills to go further and actually not make as much money this month, you know.
Try and delegate some of the work.
Yeah.
Or outsource it or whatever.
And we do that from time to time.
Yeah, outsourcing we find is probably the best way than anything, depending on what it is, obviously. Some things just there's so many tools out there what make things a lot easier as well these days. Right, so next question, let's have a look. I think you already mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but what's your current antivirus, or the one what you recommend at the moment?
Soft. I'm not I don't have a problem. Malwarebytes. I like Malware. I just like Malwarebytes a lot because it was clean and it never kind of prompted you, and it just done what it said on the tin. It just silently just went grand. As you can understand, I'm the tech bench. I'll just away with it. I think what you can buy them off them, the licenses and the resale value is very fair. The only thing that I was missing out was on the resale, because with the SSDs, now for business customers are okay, but with the SSDs, you're not going to get computers back residential unless they're slow. So you mightn't see a computer for a while. So they're going to renew. And another problem I had with Malwarebytes, I went into an office, I had to renew 3, and they were like, why are we paying you for 3 antivirus when we can get 3 for 60 quid, with Malwarebytes, because they were after. So I'm like, I had no answer. I was like, this is because it's professional. Really, I had no answer. So I don't want my customers to get any reminders, any pops-ups saying we can buy this cheaper. I don't want any of that. I just want to manage I don't want to walk into one of my business customers and see a big bloody pop-up saying 50% off. I don't want my antivirus to be selling its antivirus. And so far with Emisoft, and it seems to be working well on the machines as well, So that's who I'm with at the moment,
I must admit, if I was to look at a new security company, they'd definitely be the first people I'd be looking at, to be honest with you. And okay, I'm going to give Bullguard a bit of a chance to sort themselves out, but I have reviewed their product. It was about 3 years ago, Emisoft's, and it was pretty good, scored pretty well. But I've seen some of the new features, like you can white label it and stuff like that, so you can have your own branding on it. You can call it Cormac Security or Crosshaven Security, or whatever you want. Brand it your own. So I must admit, they are the ones what I'm keeping an eye on, to be honest with you.
And the branding of it, like we're talking about Facebook advertising, we're talking about every advertising, and we're giving up an opportunity to be nicely on a customer's screen, not like. Hey, for computer, I mean, nicely as in, yes, this is a service. I don't want any of this like they pay us not to be appearing on the screen. So there's something branded in your antivirus. Beautiful, Yeah.
I tell you what, if they tomorrow says that they teamed up with a big distributor and you could buy retail versions of the product, what we could resell like in box form or card form in our store tomorrow, I'd probably go, yeah, I'll definitely be ordering some. But I've been in talks with them, and more than likely they'll possibly be doing a show or working with us in the future regarding other things. But I forget, is it Davlot or something like that?
They seem to be small, big enough, but small enough to care, because I had booked a session with him, and I thought there was going to be 100 people on the Zoom, and I was like, I'll turn off my camera and walk away, Next minute, me and some other guy from America and David, I'm like, oh my God, damn, I was like, great, I have an opportunity to ask every question, but I'm at least, I wasn't expecting it,
Yeah, it was near enough a one-on-one. Yeah, so but to be honest with you, they do seem like a good company, and I'll definitely be watching them. Right, Jen, do you want to do the next one?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll make it a 2-parter to move things on a little bit. What can vendors and distributors do better? And part B, who are your go-to distributors?
Ooh, this is now. I'm not going to tell you my go-to distributors for things like laptops and all that. We'll keep some trade secrets on those ones. I have been. I will get. I give Sonia from Target a shout out. I've only started dealing with Target lately and found them very efficient. Spire actually as well. They were in a podcast there as well. So that's actually. Do you know something? That's a fantastic. That's fantastic for me. Is that as you raise up your level of business now, I don't have to buy off Amazon, and after it's weirdly as there's more cash flow, if there's a few things as you grow, you can have more, you can be way busier and have loads of more clients, but less cash flow in the sense that you're now doing business customers and business customers getting paid. And it's a weird scenario. It could be way busier, but have less ready cash. And then the other thing about it is that you will have more cash, so you can buy things cheaper. You know, I suppose that's the thing. So those, and what would I like the vendors to know more? I hate pushy vendors. I get like us all. Oh geez, between phone calls, emails, WhatsApps, carrier pigeons, whatever way people are contacting you. You know, 100 things. Tim was here the last day working, and he went, "Oh God, your phone's hopping." I said, "Actually, that's a quiet day, mate. That's actually quiet as in." So I don't need people to push me. That's why I was very impressed with
that. Does my head in too, Cormac. I understand that communication is key, and I understand that you've got to contact people to sell things. That's part of the job. But to me, it's off-putting when people try and push you into buying things that you don't need.
But it's a very fine line, because like the laptop dealers who I deal with in England, yeah, I like when they ring me up. I actually do like when they ring me up and they say, "Hey, look, we're just checking in, this or that," because they have to sell. In all bloody fairness, I'd be sitting down kind of going, "Oh, there's a problem if they're not getting in touch with you." That I absolutely love. And actually, I like a phone call. I like a phone call of someone saying, "Hi, Cormac, this is so-and-so from England, just checking in. How's it going? Would you be interested?" I love that. No, the reason we haven't been buying or this or that. I love that bit of it. There was one who's not in this group, nothing to do with laptop sales. But my God, I was getting 20 emails. Like, don't be spamming me with emails. Don't. But no. But then again, I am old-fashioned, and this is something that I want out of Tech Max. I want to see people face to face. I want those deals. You're sending off a lot of money to people as well, and there's a lot of trust. And call me old-fashioned, but I want to do the art of daily deals. I want to meet people face to face.
We're going to have some big names at Tech Max. It appears we've got Prince Philip of England. We've got Cormac, the King of Ireland, and we've got Jenni in Alabama. So those are going to be some big names, everybody. Wow. Sign up for Tech Max.
Yeah, I'd say I'm promoting it away there, aren't I? No. You need to get some merch ready. And then, I should have known that, man. I should have known that.
But not just
we have a question here coming in. How should I approach distributors, and what sort of things should I be considering when making to choose which distributor I go with? That's a good question.
I tell you what, I'm going to answer this slightly different. One thing that I've done and won't do, and I think is it's up to yourselves, but I don't want to set up credit with anyone distributions. I will pay everything up front. That's it. I had enough years of trying to get out of debt and everything. My business has no loans, nothing whatsoever, and with bootstrap. So my answer to that question is that person is it Friends, how you do, sir or madam? The situation being is that I wouldn't take credit terms off anyone. You're only putting pressure on yourself. The question really should decide what you're selling and where the money is and where the profit is. That's a thing. You'll know all right with the right people when you get them. But don't take terms anyway. That's what I would have to say on that one.
Yeah, it's really down to obviously what you want to sell. If you're into more gaming things, you probably might want to look at a different distributor than if you were selling value things. But one of the things I always find a good eye of figuring out how good a distributor is going to be is if you try and contact them, how quickly can you get hold of them, and how quickly can you get a reply. If it takes them a week to just say hello, then you know it's going to be a bit difficult when you have a real issue. I remember setting up with one specific distributor. I'll say the name, Exertus. I filled an application in to do it. I only did it because one of one of our suppliers was basically, or one of the vendors we were working with through Tech for Techs, and we needed to basically sign up to basically get the stuff shipped to us. It took them basically a month to send us a confirmation through to say they set us an account up. So I was like, I forgot all about it. I was like,
and we weren't even buying anything. We were just having things shipped to us.
Yeah, exactly. They just needed us on their books, so they could ship stuff to us for review.
I also want to give a bit of a tip to the one that asked the question. Basically, find your niche, what you're selling, and then if it's gaming, don't try and be the #1 razor seller in the area or whatever. Find out what your customers really like and keep a couple of units on hand. Don't fill your store up with from floor to ceiling products of one brand. Have a good variety, a couple of units of this, a couple of units of that. Phil and I found out the hard way by keeping just one brand of gaming stuff that's not the way to go. Not everybody likes Razer, not to beat Razer up or anything. Not everyone likes Cooler Master. Not everybody is going to want Marvo. Coincidentally enough, when I went to Sheffield Stadium, we walked into our room and there was a whole room full of Marvo headsets sitting around. No kidding.
Yeah, we're talking what, 200-300, weren't there?
Yeah,
at least.
And then we went to another room where they were training people, and everybody had on Marvo headsets. So Target must have made a fortune that day.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably got sold from someone else via them in the end, but yeah.
But yeah, find your niche. Keep a couple of products on hand, and make sure that the supplier that you're getting them from is consistent in keeping things in. You don't want a supplier that's going to say, "Oh, guess what? We've got Cooler Master on board with us," and you're like, "Oh, yay! I've been waiting for this." And then 6 months down the line, you're looking for that keyboard, and they've dropped Cooler Master or whoever it is that you're dealing with. So make sure that your distributor is one that's very consistent and reliable.
Yes, good point there. I'll just go through chat. We'll come back to Richard Creedy's Irish talking in a few minutes. But one thing what Raheem says, social media is a must these days, along with Google page. Post a lot and post often will grow these pages. So yeah, if you don't realize, obviously, when people do a search for your company in Google, you usually come up, well, near the top, hopefully, but it usually comes up with a bit on the side about your business and so forth. Obviously, if you use your Google business page, I'm not sure what the exact name of it is these days. They're like changing the names, Google, of their platforms. But you can make posts in there. So basically, people will see notifications when they search for your business or in your area. They'll say notifications that you're open or you got special offers on or whatever it may be. But do what Cormac does whenever you're doing any posts on social media, whether it's Google, Facebook, whatever. Don't just sell. It's about promoting your brand, getting people to know who you are. And that's how we generally advertise as well, is one post is for sales and 3 posts is content. And those content might be just helpful tips. It might be a joke. It might be I don't know, something about the Queen's birthday, who knows, whatever's going off, but just something to get your name out there. But just make sure you get noticed, because it's people who get noticed, like Cormac, like people like Richard Branson and so forth, who basically go out there. They might act a little bit daft sometimes. They may jump off of buildings, out of planes, go in balloons, God knows what. But they put that out there, and the brand is built around them, and everyone knows the brand from that person's face. As if you think of Virgin, you automatically think of Richard Branson, and vice versa. And that's, I think, how Cormac is aiming his business as well. Everyone seems to be he is the business, so his face is associated with it. And if you went on his website, I haven't been on his website recently, but I'm guessing if you went on his website, there'll be a picture of him on his front page of his website, really big. Is there?
That's something we've got to get redone on ours.
I got a professional photographer for that. I did.
Right.
The picture of me, yeah. No, there is. And Phil has a very good point. But the point is, as well, is that that's to get yourself known, be known as the tech person, be known as that. Why not get yourself known if you're doing the ads? Why not? It's a face that you can trust, a face that to tin. And yeah, to get yourself known, it has to,
People, when they call Chips, they won't Phil, but my dears never remember his name. I've got maybe a handful of customers that call him Phil. Mostly when they ring up, they say, I need Mr. Chips to come out and sort me. If they don't call him Mr. Chips, it's usually Chris for some reason. I'm not sure why Chris. And another one is Paul. I guess Chris and Chips are kind of close, and the P, Paul and Phil. But I have learned to not just dismiss them, to actually engage with them for a little bit. And I'm known as that American woman.
Yeah, well,
I'm not Jenni. I am that American woman, that American lass, and I've had to accept that I don't have a name. I am just that American lass.
That's I'm going to say. I know why people call me Chris. As you said, it's when I answer the phone or whatever, I say, "Hi, Chips Computers." They think I'm saying, "Hi, Chris's Computer."
Yeah.
So it's easy. But like anything, there's a lot of miscommunication, and it's like getting someone to type a website address in. Sometimes they just can't figure that bit out.
Marianne says she's always the girl with pink hair.
We changed our website address 4 times so people could actually do it correctly, and they still do it wrong now. So it's like,
they type in we buy any car.
Yeah, wefixanycomputer.com. So we number 6.
Yeah.
Oh God, no! Fix, and as in repair. Oh, so we repair? No.
I had one man say we buy anycar.com. And I was like, no, we fix anycomputer.com.
Yeah. So you just never know what people are going to search. Right, guys, is there anyone in chat who has any more questions for the King of Ireland himself? Marianne is always known as the girl with the pink hair. Yeah, I think we see that on your profile picture as well. So it stands out. You have to promote, or what's the best way of putting it? Basically, if you're different, you need to use that to your advantage and use it as a selling point for you and your business. So as in Cormac, he's a bit crazy, so he uses that to his own advantage.
I find it hard. I find it hard using it to my advantage, being different. I just want to fit in. I'm just one of these people that just wants to fit in and get on with things. But my customers want to talk about, where were you born, all of this, and I'm like, oh my God, please just listen to what I've got to say, and then we can go through my birth certificate later.
Yeah, but tech, people have to understand that when you're outside it, like tech, to the common people out there, the average people out there, tech is boring. Do not bore them to death. Do not tell them about speeds of RAM. Do not tell them, like, we got into gaming computers. I know nothing about gaming computers. Zilch. Tim does. But what I do know about them, Tim, throw bloody lights on it, mate. Light it up like, I don't know, New York. I want lights, lights, lights. That's what they want. Simple as that. That's now, obviously, gamers are probably different. They do know their specs, but in general, still at the end of the day, it's lights, you know. Even Marion saying, girl with the pink hair, that's exactly, you know. I would have no problem telling my hair any color I wanted to get known, because that's business is business, and you know you have to separate yourself from them, and that's been by just being outstanding, by doing something extra and being better than them, and also don't advertise tech to techs. You know, this is grand in our group. We'll talk about the latest hard drive for. Well, I never do tech talk anyway, to be honest, you know. But we'll talk about stuff, but don't bore people. But that's simply it, you know.
Yeah. Most people don't want to know. They just want whatever it is fixing or working. They don't care if it's got 2,660 megahertz memory or 3,200. To them, they don't know the difference. And in a lot of cases, they think, oh, more storage means it's going to be faster. So a lot of cases, they don't know. But best thing is just have a look what they've got and go, right, well, this is what you need, and then give them a quote for it and say, if you ain't got that much money, we can sort something out and go the other way. But yeah. But
I went to my mechanics there, and I'm finishing this. And I went to my mechanics, and we do his computers as well. And he came up and he started telling me about what he'd done to the car. And I actually really copped on to what customers are listening to, because after 30 seconds, I was gone. I have no idea. I don't know about cars anyway. And he was going on for a couple of minutes. And then I goes, Vinny, mate, does car go? And Vinny was like, yeah. I said, that's all I need to know. All right, thanks very much. But I said, Vinny, I can next time come up to you, I said, and tell you about the SSD hard drives inside your computer. And he was like, yeah. As in, we both trust each other. You know, the car did go as well, you know.
Yeah.
That's it. One thing, what I always suggest for any business is to make yourself look unique and different, or do what's unique or different. For example, if you had, let's just say, on top of a hill, 10 people all wearing, I don't know, fluorescent orange. So all of them apart from one, and then just one person wearing blue. Which is the one what stands out? The 9 people wearing fluorescent orange, or the one person in blue? Okay, so that one person, okay, it's not a different.
Yeah.
It basically, you don't want to be what everyone else is. If you're what everyone else is, you're going to blend in with everyone else. No one's going to remember you for who you are. They're not going to remember your name. They're not going to remember what you look like and so forth. But if you look different, you look unique, and people will remember you. And people remember us, Chips Computers, for the tall guy and the American woman. They remember the name because it's not your standard PC this, PC that, or whatever it is. Chips rhymes with fish and chip sort of things and so forth, because that's where we first started when we were doing repairs, was above a fish and chip shop, hence part of the name is Chips Computers, and so forth. So it's be unique and be different. Don't just blend in with everyone else. Don't just post the same rubbish everyone else posts. Be like Cormac. Be different. Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone else in chat got anything else they want to say before we call it a night? Have you got any more questions, Jen, to ask Cormac?
No, I would just like to thank Cormac for coming on and giving us this chance to interview him. He's always such a great sport and everything, and he's just a pleasure to talk to.
Oh, that's really nice. No, it's a joy. It's actually a joy. Actually, there's one great thing, many great things about this tech group, but actually making the friends that, you know, in regard to his friends now at this stage and other people in the group, it's really nice, you know. And this is why, again, the Tech Max is going to be bigger than just an event. It'll be a good time to meet up with everyone and all that sort of stuff. You know, so
I'm really excited.
No, it's going to be good.
It's going to be good, and we've got a lot of people interested in coming, vendors, distributors, and stuff like that already. We're getting contacted on a daily basis, even though we have yet to actually got anything up and running. Such we're getting there.
We're like 99.999%. knowing
Cool.
what we're going to do. But I've in my heart of hearts, I can't just commit to something without going through everyone that we've booked in to see, just out of curiosity, if nothing else.
Yeah. And there's even little things what people don't even think of. For example, having it at a football stadium isn't going to conflict with a football match. Football fixtures don't come out till next week and so forth.
Yeah.
So we've got to check around things like that and so forth. So that's, again, if we do have it at a football stadium. There's a few other places we've seen and got to still see. But I must admit what Sheffield United have offered us up to now.
We saw one venue. We saw one venue. It was the right size for us and everything. Had tons of space. I mean, absolute tons of space. But one problem was there was no air con. And I thought to myself, Mayday. We're going to sweat. I mean, because I was sweating just standing there with no computers on and everything. And then she took me inside and showed me where we would be sitting eating. And I was like, seriously? There's not enough room for us to get in here, to sit down and eat comfortably. We'd have to sit on each other's laps and sometimes 3 high. So that kind of got marked off of the list. It would have accommodated the venue as in the event, but just not the sit down and have something to eat kind of thing. So you have to look at it from all angles. I respect anybody that's ever done an open day and organized that, like Target Components. I've been to their open days. And Eileen, who works there, she told me that the second that the open day is done and over with, they start planning next year, because it takes that long. So anyone that's on their committee that's ever planned, and that goes for CMS, I think I've been to one of their events, and PCR, all of that. Anyone that's ever gone into planning an event like that, God save you. I feel your pain.
There's a lot of things to consider, and a lot of things what people don't realize. For example, with vendors, they sometimes have their budget set out a year in advance and so forth. So if you say to them, "Oh yeah, do you want to turn up to an event or whatever?" They've got to budget it in and so forth. And if it's not budgeted in their current financial year, then the answer is generally no, or they've got to go through loops and whatever's to get approval from headquarters and all this, that, and the other. So there are a lot of things. So, right. Well, Kieran's saying it's can't wait, been dying for a Christmas party. I don't think it's going to be close to Christmas, to be honest with you. It's going to be closer to next summer, to be honest with you. But we can make it a late Christmas party if you want. But it gives everyone a chance to get together and have a drink, communicate, network, and obviously meet all your vendors, distributors, and hopefully there's going to be lots of prizes as well from all the vendors and distributors what are going to be there. Right, guys, we're going to have to call it a night now, I think. Just a quick one, though. Prism X, how can you get access to Loop 8 on Tech for Tech's website? Best thing to do if you're on the Tech for Tech's Facebook group. If you're not, go to techfortech.co.uk/join. Click on the link to join as a member. Make sure you fill in the questions. Once you're on there, just basically say, has anyone got contact details for Loop 8, and then we'll link it in for you. I can't recall if you are in the group or not, or if you're under a different name.
I think I've seen them in the group before, but I can't be for certain.
It's sometimes hard to remember who's in the group and's not. I've got something like, we've got 1,250 members in the group, then we've got Facebook ones, and then we've got people who just email us, and then people who just log on the website. So it's sometimes a bit hard. And then
I know people buy Facebook icons, and if you change your icon, it throws me for a loop. So
oh yeah, that's another thing. When everyone does turn up to the event, I'm going to expect you all to look like cats, dogs, and your 5-year-old kid, because that's the biggest issue we have. So right, okay. Have you got anything else you'd like to add, Cormac, before we call it a night?
No. I say people have enough of me now. Thank you very much indeed. Really enjoyed this show. Thank you very much. Thanks, seriously. Hello, Bruno. So thanks a lot. All right.
That's no problem. Right then, guys. So I would like to say thank you for watching. We will have another show next week at 8 o'clock. Make sure you tune in. We haven't got a set topic yet because I'm waiting back from a specific vendor to let us know if they're going to be attending or not. But more than likely, we'll be talking about Windows 11 at some point because obviously the announcement is next Thursday. And I think Peter says it was at 4 p.m. So that's 4 hours before our show. So all being well, we'll be talking about Windows 11. And you never know. We may even get some demo versions or something available or insider versions. You don't know. So, well, knowing Microsoft, though, it's probably just Windows 10 when they just changed the background. But anyway, if you are interested in joining Tech for Techs, make sure you go to techfortechs.co.uk/join. Make sure you click on where it says join the group. And once you have done that, make sure you fill in the questions. So, for example, where you're from, your web address, and so forth. If you don't fill in those questions, we're just not going to let you in. Simple as that. It's automated. So if you don't fill the questions in, you'll automatically get turned down. If you do fill the questions in, then we double check them to make sure you are who you say you are. So everyone, we'll see you next week, which is Thursday at 8 p.m. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Long that. Bit of Irish free.